What if I told you that right now, at this very moment, your computer could be watching your face, reading your emotions, and building a memory of every conversation you've ever had together? What if quantum machines just shattered what we thought was physically possible? And what if the biggest tech companies in the world are in an all-out war over whether AI should have romantic relationships with humans? Buckle up, because what's happening in AI this week sounds like it came straight out of a sci-fi movie, except it's all real and it's all happening right now. The return nobody expected. Let's start with the most bizarre twist in tech history. Microsoft just resurrected Clippy. Yes, that Clippy, the paperclip everyone loved to hate. But hold on, because this isn't your 1990s nightmare. This is Mo, a luminous sphere that might just represent the biggest leap forward in how we communicate with machines. Mo isn't just sitting in the corner of your screen waiting to help with mail merge. This thing is alive in ways that feel almost unsettling. It watches you speak and responds with real emotions, smiling when you're excited, frowning when you're struggling, even tilting its head when it's curious. And here's the kicker: Mo never forgets. Every conversation, every project, every detail builds into an ongoing relationship that evolves over time. Microsoft has been quietly testing this across the United States for months, and they're now rolling it out as the default experience. Jacob Andre, their VP of Product and Growth, put it perfectly. Clippy walked so that we could run. He wasn't joking. Mo comes equipped with something called Learn Live Mode. Think of it as having a Socratic tutor in your computer that doesn't just hand you answers, but walks you through complex ideas with interactive visuals and thoughtful questions. But the real vision comes from Mustafa Suleyman, Microsoft's AI chief. He's planning something that sounds almost philosophical, giving their AI assistant an actual identity that grows and changes over time. He describes it as having a room that it lives in and it will age. Their marketing teams are already calling it the computer you can talk to. If that doesn't signal a fundamental shift in human-computer relationships, I don't know what does. Learning at lightning speed? Now, while Microsoft was busy creating digital companions, Google's researchers were cracking a problem that's been plaguing AI for years, and they did it in a way that feels almost too good to be true. Meet Flame. This isn't another massive AI model that requires warehouses full of supercomputers. This is something far more elegant. Current AI detection systems handle regular photos decently, but throw them a curveball, satellite images, aerial shots, anything from weird angles, and they completely break down. Training them to handle these specialized tasks usually means hours of computation on expensive hardware, processing thousands of examples. Flame flips this entire approach on its head. It can train AI to master specialized visual tasks in roughly 1 minute per category, using nothing more than an ordinary computer processor. The magic is in the method. A general detection system first scans images and deliberately overcollects potential matches. Then Flame zeroes in on the uncertain cases, the images the AI isn't confident about, and groups similar examples together. Here's where you come in. You quickly label about 30 of these tricky examples as right or wrong. That's it, 30 examples. With just that tiny bit of human input, Flame creates a specialized assistant that filters out the junk and keeps the good stuff, all without touching the core AI model. The performance gains are staggering. On aerial imagery tests, accuracy jumped from 31% to nearly 54% with just those 30 labeled examples. For detecting chimneys specifically, they went from basically zero accuracy to 94%. We're talking about achieving professional-grade results in minutes instead of months, without needing a supercomputer farm, shattering reality itself. But if you think that's impressive, wait until you hear what Google's quantum team just pulled off. They didn't just build a faster computer, they built something that appears to violate the laws of classical physics. Their Willow chip packs 105 quantum bits, and it just ran an algorithm 13,000 times faster than the world's most powerful classical supercomputers. Let that sink in. Not 13% faster, not 1,300% faster, 13,000 times faster. They used something called quantum echo to simulate nuclear magnetic resonance experiments, the same physics that powers MRI machines. These simulations model how atomic magnetic spins behave inside molecules, which is an incredibly complex problem for traditional computers to handle. Google's team managed to probe quantum states and read millions of effects per second without collapsing the delicate quantum system. What makes this genuinely groundbreaking isn't just the speed, it's the reliability. Most quantum computing results are probabilistic, basically sophisticated guesses. This experiment produced consistent, verifiable data that matches real-world physical phenomena. They achieved error rates low enough to generate practical, usable results. This represents the largest quantum data collection of its kind, and more importantly, it's the first time quantum computers have definitively outperformed classical machines on real-world problems. The documentation revolution? Meanwhile, Meta was working on something that won't make flashy headlines, but might actually change your daily life more than quantum computers will, at least for now. They've supercharged their documentation platform with AI integration, transforming how developers find information. Instead of typing keywords and crossing your fingers, you can now ask questions in plain English and get contextual answers pulled directly from the documentation. Upgrading is dead simple. One command and the AI assistant goes live. This might sound trivial, but think about the ripple effects. Millions of developers worldwide depend on documentation to build software, fix bugs, and learn new technologies. Converting all that static text into interactive conversational resources could dramatically speed up software development and flatten the learning curve for complex systems. Sometimes the quietest innovations create the biggest waves. The great AI ethics war. Now here's where things get contentious. Mustafa Suleyman, the same Microsoft AI chief planning to give Mo an aging identity, just took a controversial stand that's splitting the tech industry down the middle. At a major California summit, he declared that Microsoft absolutely will not build chatbots that generate romantic or sexual content, calling these capabilities very dangerous. Here's why this matters. Other major AI companies are racing in the exact opposite direction. Elon Musk's AI already offers flirty companion modes. OpenAI just confirmed they'll soon let verified adults generate explicit material through age-restricted features. Sam Altman defended this by saying they're not the elected moral police of the world and that adults should have freedom of choice. This creates some serious tension, especially considering Microsoft has pumped $13 billion into OpenAI since 2019. Making matters more complicated, OpenAI reportedly just signed a $300 billion computing deal with Oracle, one of Microsoft's biggest competitors. These partnerships are evolving in ways nobody predicted. The debate extends far beyond corporate politics. Billionaire Mark Cuban warned this approach will backfire hard, especially if children find ways around age verification. Georgetown researcher Jessica points out that OpenAI is walking a tightrope between consumer demand and convincing investors and regulators they're building technology that helps society rather than harms it. The convergence? Here's what keeps me up at night. These aren't isolated developments. They're all landing at once, and they're going to amplify each other in ways we can't fully predict. We're watching AI systems that remember, learn, adapt, and potentially form genuine relationships with users. We're seeing quantum computers achieve what classical physics said was impossible. We're transforming static information into living, conversational resources, and we're fighting over the ethical boundaries of AI development while the technology races ahead of the debate. The real question isn't whether these technologies will reshape society, they already are. The question is whether we're ready for what comes next, for a world where the boundary between human and artificial intelligence becomes increasingly fuzzy, where quantum machines solve problems that shouldn't be solvable, and where the fundamental nature of how we interact with computers gets rewritten practically overnight. What strikes me most is the timing. This isn't gradual progress, it's a simultaneous explosion of breakthroughs converging at the same moment in history. The future isn't approaching anymore. It's already here. It's more extraordinary than we imagined, and it's moving faster than we can comprehend. That's all for this video, folks. See you in the next one.